Good evening, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch of Crime Talk. It is late. It is about 11:10 here in Colorado, and I am actually in the middle of starting a double homicide trial where I get to meet 600 of my potential new friends tomorrow. As there's been so much publicity on this case, they thought that 600 potential jurors would be required. But the reason I want to talk with you all this evening is the news that Chris Watts has been providing new information. And what we've also learned is that apparently Shanann's family is going to be appearing on the Dr. Phil show, or her lawyer has prepared some type of, her family's lawyer has prepared some type of advanced interview for this show. And what we have learned is what a lot of us have thought all along. And I took a lot of grief from some people for my theory. A lot of people thought that Chris Watts had planned this murder from the beginning, at the outset, and I told you my theory was that it just didn't make sense. I believe that there was something that set him off, and everything just kind of went from there. And that's exactly what we're finding out. Now, the family of Shanann Watts has filed a wrongful death suit against Christopher Watts, and so I'm sure the family has been given kind of advance notice that these interviews were coming out. As you may have learned, or you may know, was that the investigators went up to the prison in Wisconsin to speak with Mr. Watts to gain further information about this case, and it simply is very unusual for them to do that, for investigators to do that. So what we have learned is that apparently when Shanann gets home, there's an argument between Shanann and Chris Watts. When kind of they have this fight, it's over, everything is good, but then another fight engages. He apparently confesses as to the affair that he was having with Nicole Kessinger, and obviously she becomes enraged, she's upset, she's hurt, and she basically says, if you are going to think that you're ever going to see these kids again, think again. And she says words to the effect of, you'll never see your children again. Now, first of all, in a heated situation like that in divorce, emotions were hot. I'm sure she said something to that effect. And this just shows you how not very smart Chris Watts is, because if you get a divorce, you're still going to see your children. This is not the kind of thing where you're never going to see your children again. But apparently in the moment, Chris Watts then strangles Shanann, and while he's doing that, Bella, his 4-year-old daughter, walks in and says basically, what are you doing to mommy? And apparently finishes strangling Shanann and then kills Bella 4 and Celeste 3, his own daughters. And like I said, from early on, I took a lot of heat. A lot of people said, oh, this is planned for weeks, months, days in advance. But I thought it was more of a kind of sudden heat of passion type of thing. Now, we also talked about in the past whether there would be heat of passion defense to Chris Watts in this particular case. Clearly, based upon this information, maybe an argument could have been made as it relates to Shanann, but clearly not to the children. And this clears up the fact that Chris Watts is the one who killed the children. He basically vindicates the family of Shanann, saying that she had nothing to do with it, and this was what he did. He killed the children, he killed Shanann, and he took them out to the oil tank battery, dumped the children in the tank, and put Shanann in a shallow grave. So this is kind of developing news. We're going to see the videos ourselves here in the next couple of days, but based upon this information that the lawyer has brought out. I think it was reliable enough that we could actually talk about it. So, like I said, this information was based upon the family being told what the investigators learned from Chris Watts when they went to see him in prison. And it shows that he didn't have this methodical plan of being thought out for years or days, even hours. But you can be, after deliberation, can be a matter of seconds. So clearly he thought about it, and choking somebody, strangling somebody, we've talked about this, is the type of thing that can take 3 to 5 minutes to actually kill somebody. Not to just make them unconscious, but to actually kill someone. So clearly, after deliberation, and then the children going and suffocating them is simply abhorrent. It's horrific to kill your own children. I just couldn't imagine. So at least the information's coming out, because as we've talked about previously, there was nothing in the plea colloquy between the judge and Christopher Watts detailing, outlining what he did, why he did it, anything along those lines. He simply pled guilty, and that was it. So Chris Watts obviously must have had a temper. He snapped that night. That was my theory all along. It's apparently confirmed by the information that we've learned. So I feel somewhat vindicated in that regard, but that's based upon experience, and I've seen these people, clients over the years that have committed crimes like this. This planning was terrible. It was atrocious in the sense of, leaving the baggage behind, the keys, the purse. It just made no sense from the beginning. So I just want to leave you that quick update. So if you like the channel, please subscribe. Please leave a comment. Sorry for being so late, but like I said, I'm in the process of selecting 14 impartial jurors from some 600 for this double homicide case that I'm starting, that we actually started today, but I wanted to do this before I went to bed. So if you like the channel, please subscribe, hit the like button, hit the little bell if you want to get notifications of when we're going live, when new videos are coming out. But I appreciate everyone tuning in. I see a lot of comments going by. I appreciate everybody doing that. So thanks for tuning into this live updated version of Crime Talk, and we will be back soon. Thanks, and keep an eye out for new information on the Watts case, because it is definitely coming. Have a great night.